What's going on, America and the rest of the world? Xander J. Hobson here, comedian, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and troll to those who need trolling. This is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, listen, I'm trying to grow the platform, so please subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comment section, because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all. So anyway, folks, I mean, y'all know what time it is, man. If you've been living underneath a rock, you don't know. But, man, if you've been paying attention, man, without even trying to pay attention, you know that, America has entered into the war with Israel and Iran. Now, President Trump dropped a few bombs on them. And then he said, all right, that's it with us, man. We cool. We can get back to negotiating now. And, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I am so disappointed with President Trump, man, because up until this very point, man, I was rocking with a lot of the stuff that he was doing. A lot of the stuff, not all of it. Had some people in his cabinet that was starting to tamper with the history books and the achievements of a lot of prominent African Americans. People who paid their dues and sacrificed sweat and tears. And, you had these ham and eggers in the Trump administration that wanted to disrupt that because they wanted everything to be DUI. Or DI, whatever it is, DOI, whatever it is they was messing with, affirmative action. As if white dudes are not the primary beneficiaries of affirmative action or DEI. That thing, the white dudes, they don't call it affirmative action or DEI. They call it the old boys network. So I wasn't happy with the people in Trump's administration who was trying to be disrupted in that way as it pertains to African Americans. So I wasn't happy with that. But for the most part, I was able to rock with President Trump because he was doing a lot of the things that he said he was going to do that won my vote. And most importantly, he was giving us the impression that he was going to be a peacetime president, So, listen, this is what I was thinking about, man. President Trump, I rocked with him up until he broke his word to the people who supported him. Am I MAGA? I'm MAGA, man. Make America great again. Because my idea of America being great might be different from somebody else's idea of America being great. But at the end of the day, people who are MAGA, hey, man, we just want America to win, man. And starting a war with Iran, that's definitely not the way to go if you want America to win. Donald Trump pivoted, man. He pivoted, messing around with Bibi. And I didn't even I don't really care for Bibi now. I was indifferent to Bibi for the longest time. I just looked at Bibi as like a patriot to Israel. And, I didn't really have an issue with Bibi being pro-Israel. You should be pro-Israel. I'm pro-black. I'm pro-black, and it's a lot of things that I would do and I am willing to do on behalf of black people. So, I ain't mad at Bibi for being pro-Israel, but I am mad at President Trump for letting Bibi, involve us in a war conflict, man. And as I do the research on this thing, man, I'm starting to realize that it might have been a setup all along between the U.S. and the Israel to jump on Iran. Now I'm going to tell you this, right? I am old enough to remember when the Iranians took their U.S. embassy. I'm old enough to remember that. And the reason why I remember it is because I was fond of President Carter. He was the peanut man. And leading up to the election, when the Iranians took the embassy, the conversation was that's going to cost President Carter the election, the 1980 election. And I think it played a huge part. So I've always had a grievance with the Iranians, you know. And then when you throw in the fact that the Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund, hey man, listen, I wasn't really messing with the Iranians like that, man. I'm gonna even go as far as to say I didn't like them. Okay, but I'm gonna say this, right? In my quest for knowledge, I discovered, man, that the United States, they've been taking pokes at Iran for a long time, man. They sent the dude named Kermit Roosevelt over there to destabilize Iran. So, you know, man, Iran has really not been the bad guy in this thing, man. As a matter of fact, Iran has had a reason to have an issue with the U.S. And since I'm a fair dude, man, I can't get mad at the Iranians now that I know that the U.S. has been taking cheap shots at Iran for a very long time. So now, right, when this whole thing was transpiring between Israel and Iran, my only desire was, man, I'm saying, well, man, I hope President Trump stay out of this joint, because he did run on the fact that, hey, man, I'm a peacetime president. I ain't looking for no smoke. But then, man, you know, the boy BB again. BB come up in there, man, and, you know, BB get us all up in this thing, man. You know, because what happened is like this, right? It was like the United States and Israel really conspired against Iran to start a war, man. You know, it's like they was playing good cop, bad cop on Iran. And, man, what they did, it just wasn't cool, man. And it's like, I'm thinking, because basically BB sucker punched Iran. And Iran started beating BB's ass. And then us trying to be the diplomatic, or at least pretending to be diplomatic, we said that we wasn't going to get involved in this thing, man, and we did, man, and it's not cool, because let me tell you something. I'm a retired serviceman. You might not know it from a casual glance, but Corporal Joel A. Hobson, United States Marine Corps, 1986 to 1992, Technical Sergeant retired medically, United States Air Force, 1993 all the way up to 2004. And as a member of the United States Armed Forces, man, I can't do nothing but grieve and sympathize with my fellow servicemen and women who got to answer that call, man. I mean, we got to, hold on, wait a minute, President Trump, man, we got to get in a fight with Iran possibly over BB? And then in the real deal, President Trump, it looks like it's supposed to have been a long-gone plan. It ain't really about BB. In all actuality, y'all use BB to start the war, man, and that's just not cool, man, because first of all, President Trump, you realize that we just came out of fighting over Afghanistan and Iraq. 20-year war, man, billions and trillions of dollars, man, fighting two wars. And it amounts to the same thing, because the same play that President Bush used in the early 2000s, hey man, Saddam Hussein, you got weapons of mass destruction. So you go run up in Iran, destabilize Afghanistan. But in the meantime, the Americans, the taxpayers got to pick up the bill. And now you talking about doing the same thing to Iran? That's not cool, man. I'm not feeling, I don't like it, you know, because another thing I don't like, man, it destabilizes the U.S. What if the prices of gas go up to like $15 a gallon? All because, man, you messing around with BB because you want to be a bully. But in the meantime, the Chinese, they play in the shadows, man. The Chinese is like, man, y'all guys go ahead and fight, man. Knock yourself out. We're going to stand on the sideline, watch y'all fight, loan you money, help you build back up your country, And in the meantime, man, we're winning without even fighting. The Chinese are the practitioners of the art of war written by General Sun Tzu. And I believe he was a Chinese general. Win without fighting. Okay? Win without fighting. And if you look at China currently in 2025, China is winning, and China has won without fighting. If you think about it, right? When the last time you heard about China being in a war? But every time you turn around, the United States is in a war. Hey man, listen, from that 20-year war that we had in Afghanistan and Iraq, hey man, we can't even raise 200,000 troops. But in the meantime, the Chinese is on the sideline, building up their military, building up their economy, saving their money, and loaning money to the United States because, man, y'all still want to be goons and tough guys and bully everybody in the world. But in the meantime, you got countries like China, India, Pakistan, Brazil, Russia even. Man, they building up their stuff. And the United States, we still doing the same play. You got people on the street over here. And man, instead of sending money to Israel so we could be tough guys and goons, you should be taking that same money and building up our country like China has built up its country, like Germany has built up its country, like Japan has built up its country. But no, man, y'all wanna bully people. And that's why America is losing and China is winning. Now I'm gonna say this, man, because I'm getting ready to get out of here, because the more I think about it, I get mad. And it ain't really nothing I could do about it but make these videos. But if I could say one thing to President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, BB, the only thing I would say to him is, hey man, knock it the fuck off. I'm done with it. Bam.